Hey guys, well, it's day 4, and today I want to talk a little bit about the pivotal roles that played in the early church. But first, I want to talk about pastors, because obviously these are the ones that we resonate most with. And pastors in today's church are referred to as shepherds over the people. However, what we see in the book of Acts is a lot of times what we see is churches are operating and their pastors and they're looking to them for everything. But in the Acts, in the early church, they were surrounded by people. And these two roles that we predominantly see in Acts are prophets and apostles. Apostles were kind of the forerunners. I like to think of somebody with an apostolic gifting as somebody that goes into the hedge, that goes into the brush, and they clear a way, they clear a path for the people coming behind them. And that's what they essentially did in the early church. They were powerful teachers. They were church planners. They established and appointed local leadership. They dealt with problems. And they also sent others out to build the church. They were a leadership team and group that really went and were the forerunners for the early church. The second one was prophets. Many of you may have heard this term before thrown around, but essentially these are people that came in after the apostles had laid that foundation, and they worked under the leadership of the apostles' guidance. But their important role was really making the vision come to life. I like to think of these two as operating in the visual of a house. So if I'm an apostle, I'm laying the foundation. I'm coming in and clearing the way, laying the foundation. And then the prophets would come in and they would start to frame and build the structure of the church. And so they revealed the mind of the Lord. They would sense that something was coming or something that they needed to do to take action. And they would press into the Lord. And they birthed strategy and the vision for the church off of those prophecies and prophetic words that they received from the Lord. I think an important key that I want to talk about before we close today is that none of this was done in isolation. We talked about this in day 1. We're going to talk about it again tomorrow, but I believe that the reality of operating together as teams in community and not isolation is the key to advancing the church. It was the key then, and it's still the key now. God created us for relationship. They always were working together, but they had their roles and they had their lanes they were running in. So I hope this helps clarify a little bit about the roles in the early church and how they advanced the kingdom of God. We'll see you tomorrow.